How to remove extra blank space on your Wix website. Hey everyone and welcome, I hope you're all doing great. In this video, I'll show you exactly how it works and exactly how to remove extra blank space on your site. This usually happens for people who don't really know exactly how to edit their site, or sometimes it just happens by itself for some reason. Usually you're going to find something along the lines of this. I did try to recreate it as close as possible as how other people tend to have them. It didn't really happen to me, but I just had to actually create it myself. So you would have a bit of content, as you can see, some text, some image, even though it's not looking the best. Anyways, but if you scroll down, you're going to find this whole lot of empty space, and then ends up, showing the next bit of content, and you have this image, a blank space in between, and then you have some text in here, and then more blank space, and then you also have the footer, and then even more blank space. So all of these are actual plausible issues that you could face, and I will show you exactly how to get rid of them. And by the way, this also could reflect on the mobile view of the site, and I will also show you exactly how to remove it also on the site for mobile. So let's just go ahead and get started right away. First, all you need to do is just go ahead and go to your main dashboard. And by the way, I know it says Wix Studio on the top left, but this is going to be for the default Wix editor, so don't worry about that. And basically just open up your site editor by clicking on Edit Site from the top right corner. This should open up your site editor. So once this loads in, I'm just going to show you exactly how it works to remove the blank spaces. Okay, so now that it is loaded in, we can actually go ahead and view this ourselves, and we can actually see we have plenty of blank space in between contents and also for the footer and so on. There's a lot of blank space on this site. And if we go to the mobile view here, we can also see that we have a bit of blank space here on the header. You can see we also have it, I wouldn't say here, this could, end up looking fine, but we have some blank space here, there, and anyways, there's plenty to work with. So let's just first start with the desktop version and talk about how to solve this issue. You can feel free to zoom out if you would like to make things easier for you to see. Doing so is going to be from the top right corner. You can just make it at 50%. And then, for example, we can see it is divided into sections. Now, this is very important because each section is going to have its own sort of aspects when it comes to height and so on. So this section, and this section, and then we have the footer at the end. So starting with this one, because it is one section, and this section is extended to the bottom and quite a lot of empty space, you can just feel free to click on it, and once it is highlighted, you can actually see this arrow here, which goes two ways, and you basically drag it to the bottom if you want to increase this blank space. But obviously what we want to do is drag it upwards to the best of our ability, like so. And this is going to allow us to remove all of that excess space from, that was generated by this section. So right now we have it so much smaller than it used to be. Next up, we have this, which is a blank section with a strip inside. Now, you can actually go ahead and resize this again the same way if you want, but that wouldn't really function the best way. So if you have a empty section like this, and in this case, instead of resizing it, what you want to do is just simply click on it and just basically click on delete, or right click delete in order to do so. This is going to obviously remove it because we don't really need it. Next up, we have this bit of content with this section. Now this section has two different empty spaces. This has the image and then empty space, and then the text shows up. We don't really want that empty space in between. And then we also have the one at the bottom. Now for the one at the bottom, we already discussed how to change it. So you basically just drag this up. But I will also show you another method instead of, having to drag this up, because sometimes I've noticed that some people have it like way at the bottom. So instead, you can just go ahead and double click on this same arrow icon. Just double click on it, and it's going to go to the top before the actual content. So it's going to touch the content that is at the bottom of the section. Now when it comes to this empty space between the image and the text, what we can do is just go ahead and actually resolve this by grabbing the text and moving it upwards itself, and then we can just go ahead and move this up. It's very simple. So let me just go ahead and zoom in so I can grab the text, move it upwards like this. And then we can just double click on this arrow right here, and it's going to just set this up here for us. In fact, we could possibly just add a little bit more padding like so by we're just moving. Let's just move these two a little bit downwards like so, and this should suffice. Let me just drag this down. And now we have, you know, proper spacing between two sections. Now for the footer, again, you also have the same possible way by doing, just dragging this upwards or down, or just double clicking on it in order to do so. But I actually want to highlight one last way that you could possibly change a height of a section, which is going to be clicking on it and clicking on tools. Once you click on tools, you basically just want to show up the toolbar. You just click on toolbar, and then once you click on any section, you're going to be able to adjust the actual height and width for it. As you can see here, you can change the height. So right now it is 440, so let's just go ahead and decrease that. So let's just try 300, for example. And you can see that it decreases this way. So if you want to have a specific height, you can feel free to change it this way with the toolbar. Now for the mobile view, it's again going to be almost identical to this. So let's just go to switch to mobile. But the only difference is sometimes you actually have to let go of some sort of elements in the mobile view. And if you delete anything from the mobile view, it's not going to be deleted from the desktop. This is going to be a completely separate thing. So we can actually go ahead and set this up. First, we are going to set up the header. Again, you can just double click on this. It's going to do it automatically for you. Or you can just drag this down a little bit if you want, or up. Same goes for this. If you want to just reduce this, you can just click on that and reduce it. It's going to help you with that. Same with this. And then we have this empty space between the text and the image. Now we can just go ahead and click on this and do the same thing. Just drag it up like so. I think this should be good enough. And then for this blank space, we basically just want to do the same. Just double click on this, and it's going to basically create it's going to get stuck to the content that exists on there. Now again, like I said, you can just feel free to remove specific elements on the mobile site if they don't look that great like on desktop, and it's not going to affect the desktop view. And then for the footer, again, just double click on this and it's going to create it here for you. And we should be good to go. Let's just view the mobile site is looking fine. And for the desktop view, we can actually see that everything is set up and we still have the image that we removed from mobile. So this is pretty much all for this video. Hopefully you found it to be informative, and thanks for watching.